Welcome to a new Let's Play, and yes, it's a new quick play. What the fuck? We've done this like 3 times in a row now. I don't know why. Sea-Doo Hydrocross. This is by Vicarious Visions, way back then. And this is also by another company who I've forgotten the name already. Well, the main thing is that it's by BB, and this one. It's a fucking two-parter. And it's a two-parter because I'm just going to be showing you the tournaments. That's the main mode. There's not much to this game. This is supposed to be like a boating race sort of game with stunts and such. But the stunts are very good. In fact, you can see it says perform tricks. But the game will never tell you how to perform the tricks. And I don't have it physically. I don't have the manual. And the manual is not on the internet either. So even though there's a practice thing, which is a tutorial, and it tells about calm, choppy, and stormy waters, which you're going to be dealing with, like, calm, really. We got characters like Bombardsky, Flying Carpet, which I know, looks great, doesn't it? We got Jennifer A. Scott, like something out of fucking, like, early 2000s internet era. Mrs. Murray. Little Ned, oh my god, this artist is amazing. The Old Kahuna. Wild Mary, you can tell there's a bit of a to it, and Yakamiya. These are all of our characters, and yes, there is some stereotypes in play here, but we're going to be playing for this tutorial as the worst character, Miss Murray. I'll try and let you hear all the voices during this, but oh man, it's just going to be horrible. Here's all the boats, which all they do is increase your stats a good bit, especially advanced. The hydroplane one, which is the best one, will begin to why you'll be wanting to get to that as soon as possible. But right now I got the buoy run, and the ramp run. These are only in the practice, so I might as well show them off. For this one, just stay between the buoys. Remember, red buoys on the left, yellow buoys on the right. And yeah, it's just a simple race. Now, as I do this, I'm going to be trying to do some tricks. In this case, the ground tricks, which there aren't many of. And the problem with ground tricks is that to trigger them, I don't know how to trigger them, really. I just hold the L1 or R1 button, and then I spam the direction buttons, and I hope that something happens. That's all I can tell you. And sometimes stuff like this can happen, where the game will just do that to me. You know? But yeah, there are ground tricks, but ultimately, trying to do any trick is a pain in the ass. And as we'll find, there's only one trick you're going to see me do throughout the entire game, because it's the one trick I have found that gives me the most points that I would want. We're now ready for the train, by the way. We're now ready for the ramp run. And the ramp run is to do stunts. We gotta get 200 points in order to pass this one. And, yeah, as you can tell, sometimes are done in the water, all the rest are in the air. Most of the air ones are the R1 button, and what I'm going to tell you is hold R1 and then keep tapping left until you eventually do a barrel roll trick. Because a lot of these other tricks, they give you like 30, 15 points or whatever. The barrel roll gives you fucking 80 points every time. I would 100% recommend for you to do the barrel roll, because that shit will give you a lot of points. Whereas a lot of this stuff you're seeing right now, not so much. Also, yeah, like, I wish the game would let you know what the combinations are for each trick so that you know what the fuck to do, but it doesn't. It doesn't tell you shit, so we're just gonna have to go through the tournament, just doing barrel rolls, and we're going through on hard, by the way, because the only difference between easy and hard is the AI. So I'm gonna be playing as Bombardsky, because he's the first character.
Yeah, baby.
I know, great voice acting. So, as you can see, our next cap's at 5,000 points. That's where our stunts and such come in, and we gotta deal with Desert Island to start off with. And not only that, but there are more ways to get points, and that is breakables. It'll tell you what the breakables look like for the most part. There are a few more breakables that it doesn't show you. But all we gotta do is run into those and we get points. Now, for like maybe the first lap, I'd recommend maybe following where the AI goes and staying ahead of them as well, so that you can get all the breakables before they hit them, and so you can get a lot of points out of that before they end up breaking that shit. I'm not going to worry about that, honestly. I'm going to do my own thing, because the AI is always going to take the same path, and all you gotta do is just take the best path. I'm going to show off as much of the tracks as possible, all while also taking care of as many breakables and shit as possible. And as you saw there, I ended up trying to do a flip and I bailed. There is one big issue with the tricks, and that it has this strange delay timing to it, that sometimes the game will let you do the trick in like the middle of the air, and sometimes it will be so fucking late on the trick that you will end up bailing. And yeah, because of that, it makes doing these tricks really problematic, because sometimes tricks don't even want to work at all. The trick system in this game is just incredibly bad. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's just incredibly bad, incredibly shit, and you're not going to want to use it because, yeah, it's just not good. Though, you need to use it because you need the points that you get the next ride. Because, as the game progresses, the AI is going to be a little bit more problematic. But to make it even worse, the AI has extreme rubber banding. You can go as fast as you want. Not a joke, you can go as fast as you fucking want. Sometimes the game will randomly put you on 99 speed. Sometimes it won't. Well, usually it won't. However, if you if you decide that you know, to go fast, you decide to go pretty fast, the AI is going to do its very best to stay up your ass. And I do mean do its very fucking best, because this AI will fucking zoom at impossible speeds sometimes when you're taking shortcuts and such to stay behind you. So even if I did perfectly, the AI is going to be up my ass. And there are times where the AI will be faster than me, which means that I am forced to use the shortcuts. There are really good shortcuts, and there are really shitty shortcuts in this game. I will show you what the good ones are and what the bad ones are. Right now, you saw some good ones there, the plane and shit. Another good one, though, is that waterfall. You probably thought that was just a wall, didn't ya? Nope. There's more breakables in here, and also, it's a shortcut. And yeah, this entire part is me showing the entire tournament. Just letting you know that right now, because this is only half of the game. We'll get into like what the other half is gonna be like, and by then I'm not gonna have much to talk about, because it really is just gonna be the same shit. You can already tell where it's going from what I just said there. Make your own guesses, because I'm not gonna tell you what it's gonna be.
Great job.
Anyway, only 3 laps for this one. For all these races, it'll be 3 laps. And as you can see, the AI has stayed pretty much up my ass the entire time, no matter how many shortcuts I take. I mean, I did fuck up a few times, but even then,
Great job.
they set up my ass. We got 4,000 points, and we beat it in about 4 minutes, 21 seconds. Which, I'm going to go ahead and put my name in, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to get the record for every one of these, because the times they put in are very long. In fact, in order for you to even get second on those leaderboard times, you would essentially have to fucking, like, I don't know, get last. So, yeah, Just don't get last. Anyway, Loch Ness is next, and yes, that was how long the saving took. Alright, so here's all the shit we gotta break for Loch Ness. It's just a bunch of crates, as well as, like, a submarine pipe. And a boat. Some wooden boats.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1.
There's also a few other things, like billboards and a statue. Yes, we're gonna run into a statue. In fact, there's that statue right now. And now it's gone.
Oh!
Now, unfortunately, not every jump in this game is going to act like a jump. Usually they do. Sometimes they just don't do it. They just have you fall down. So, yeah, this game, not very well made, not very good. It's honestly rather crap. And that should be of no surprise to you, considering what you're seeing right now. Obviously, this is a bad game. Very obviously, this is not a good game. And very obviously, this is not going to beat games like Hydro Thunder and such. You probably thought that Vicarious Visions back then would be decent. And I mean, they were. Just, not with shit like this. They, back then, made a good amount of crap. They were not the juggernauts of, you know, development in games and such that they used to be nowadays, until, you know, Activision decided to be a fuckhead and kill them off. But they were not the juggernaut back then. They were making a lot of, like, well, let's be honest here, crap. Shovelware crap, essentially. And this is one of them. This is just a rather, like, bad game for the genre, honestly, of, like, dropping around on a boat and doing some racing and shit. It looks ugly when it comes to the character designs. It's not very fun to play, it doesn't control very well, it's not very responsive, and it doesn't tell you shit. It does not tell you what the tricks are. So, you kind of have to just get lucky on what they are. And I got lucky enough to tell you to hold R1 and double tap left until eventually do a barrel roll to get 80 points out of every jump. At the very least, you have that going on. Also, that boat there, take the boat, go into that boat, it counts as points and breakables and such. Even I'm still learning about the breakables in this one, and I did a bit of practice on this. Seriously, there's a lot of spots where you can find breakables and get points and shit. And the thing is, the breakables are where most of your points are going to come in. Like, if you want to actually get the fucking boat you need and shit for later on, you are going to need to not only take jumps, those yellow boats there, or like, I don't know what they are, but those yellow padding things on the water, those count as jumps. But yeah, like, you have to get the breakables, you have to do this trick shit, and you have to get as many points as you can to get the best ride in the game, the best boat. And you're probably wondering why. You're probably wondering why you need the best boat, considering, you know, with just the starter boat, I've been in, you know, front of the AI the entire time until now, because in case you're wondering, doing ground tricks does not guarantee that you will not bail. As you saw that I was trying to do ground tricks, and the game bailed me twice. So, yeah, in case you're wondering, I'm not going to bother with ground tricks, because that shit will happen, and yeah. Also, you just saw right there, the game let me do a 99 kilometers. Yeah. A 99 kph. I don't know why. It happens randomly. There's no consistency to when I get the speed, really. It just happens sometimes. And it's weird and it's dumb, but it helps when it does happen.
Great job.
And there you go. And with that, I now have another record completed with 4 minutes 41 seconds. And I got enough reputation points for me to get the 200 XP. Our next thing is to get, I believe, another 4,000 points, I think, another 5,000. Which, I mean, we're already kind of halfway there, 3,225. Next up is the Lost Bayou. And this one's just going to be silly, because there are a lot of breakables around here, and it's mainly just like bark or leaves or whatever. And they like to pile it on with this shit, so bit of a high scoring one, to be fair. A lot of shortcuts as well, that will give you some points, at 160 right there. The only issue is knowing where the wall is, because it certainly isn't very clear of this map. Also, a lot of branding is around here. You're going to be seeing some Pepsi, you'll be seeing some Mountain Dew. Also, that sign there, stay in first for that one, because the AI will break it. In case you're wondering, the AI never goes for shortcuts. They always go for the regular path. And the thing is, if they did go for shortcuts, you'd be fucked. Because the AI rubber bands so hard, and there's such bullshit, that ultimately, if they were going for shortcuts, I don't think you'd be able to beat them with just what the boats you get, because they go pretty fucking fast on hard. And again, the game keeps them up your ass the entire time. Look at this, I'm now going for the regular path. Look how much of a fucking line that looks like right now. And yeah, there's gators here. The gators are not breakable. There are actually walls. Do not hit the gators. And yeah, as you can see on the normal path right now, which once you want to get the points, you kind of want to go ahead and take a bit of a different path to find the breakables and shit. And yeah, as you can see, I'm doing my best to get as many points as possible so that I can get my next ride. The biggest issue is the tricks, which, as you can see, the game really isn't being nice on giving me the ability to do the trick. It's just, sometimes it just takes way too long before it actually does the trick. And sometimes it never registers the trick, despite me spamming the left button and turning during it. You think that's a jump, by the way, but it's not, it's a wall. That's very fucked, that one. But yeah, you can see that I'm, like, moving left. I'm trying to do the trick, and sometimes it never does it. Sometimes it does it way too fucking late. The way it triggers doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. And because of that, I am literally unable to do tricks sometimes. So yeah, the tricks in this game are broken as fuck, and they're not good. And also, that's our points to end on. Which I don't think is enough for us to get our next boat. But we did get our record, which we were going to get anyway, because that's way too much time on a record for this. We're now in Division 2, and next thing is Bermuda Triangle, which is going to look weird. First of all, luggage, boxes, plane doors, and skeletons are our breakables. And yes, they literally went literal on Bermuda Triangle by making that look like a fucking Dorito. It looks like a fucking Dorito, doesn't it? Anyway, this one is a simple map. There's no, like, problematic turns here, honestly. It's just 3 straight lines and, like, a few turns because the Dorito shape of it all. There are a lot of breakables, though. You can go around and break all of this shit here to get your points, though you'll be, like, way behind by doing that. Or, if you want to worry about speed, you'll be wanting to do what I do for lap 2 and 3. And you get points out of that as well. So, first things first, you might have noticed there were basically UFOs there, and also that, and you also see there's a bunch of shit hovering about. It's just a really weirdly designed level, but it's Bermuda Triangle, so I'm guessing it's on purpose. But, yeah, the spaceship there and shit, it's just weird. How did we end up here? I don't fucking know. Anyway, those UFOs count as jumps. Just run into them, they make a weird noise, lift you up in the air, and with that, you'll be able to do the trick if you got enough air from it. And yeah, this is a high-scoring level because there's so many breakables around here. You'll be wanting to run into every single one of them as much as you can in order to get your points. And yeah, this is basically the entire game, honestly. For now. Just doing the flip, getting your 80 points out of it every time, and going into every breakable you can find so that you can actually get the points needed to get your next ride, and then just winning these races. I think you are allowed to get 1 second place in each division, but ultimately you have to get first. You cannot lose a single one of these. Because you can't even lose a single one of these on easy. Like, the only difference literally is the AI and their speed. Which, on easy, they stay up your ass, but they give a bit more distance. Like, a little bit more distance. Like, maybe a second of distance more behind you. Compared to right fucking now. But they're like half a second behind me. So, yeah, I mean, that's all there is to difficulty. And you can't even adjust the water either. The whole water thing is pointless because, for the most part, the water is going to be calm. It's not going to really be a jagged mess. It's not going to be like crazy or what have you. The game isn't going to like do that. It's instead just going to fucking just be normal, calm, and just make you deal with tracks that, for the most part, you can handle, but they aren't good. Especially the last two. The last two tracks are, in my opinion, the worst. Because what works best in this game is this open water shit. Having a lot of tricks, being fairly simple on the turns, and essentially having a lot of fucking, like, breakables about. All while having this wide open fucking straightaways and shit for you to work with. Because your ride slides about and gets weird and shit. And by the way, I could have chosen a simulator sort of movement. I decided not to for the fucking reason that that shit would just make this unbearable. Anyway, we got enough points for us to get our next ride, the Evolution. And because of how many points I just got there, we only need about 500 points to get our next one. Congo River is next, and with this one, we'll definitely be able to get our points for our next ride. And then all we have left is one more ride to get, which is going to be like 10,000 points. Yeah, for the last ride, you have to really book your fucking points up. It's 5,000 for all of these, except for the last one.
2, 1, go!
So, yeah. By this point, if you really want to worry about, you know, getting shit done, by this point you should already have that boat that I only have to get 500 points for, which I've already done. But yeah, this shortcut here is a dick because you have to take this path. If you don't go for that jump immediately and you miss it, you're going to hit a wall and you can't progress. You have to go back. You get a few more breakables that way, but you have to go back and then go up the fucking ramp to get across. So that's a risky shortcut, and it doesn't actually save you that much time. Also, that jump there sucks. So far, all the shortcuts here have been decent. But this is where the shortcuts get iffy. Because that shortcut, yeah, it can give you a lot of points and such. But ultimately, it's very risky with all the jumps here. And not only that, it's basically just gonna fuck you when it comes right down to this bit here. If you're not lined up, you're not gonna get over that wall. And you have to get over the wall to not get stuck there. So yeah, that shortcut's a risk. And as you can see, there's a lot of breakables around, which I'm going to be taking and getting my points on. There is a regular path, and I really should be taking the regular path by now, but I don't. And my reasoning for that is because the AI does go pretty fucking fast here, to where taking that regular path isn't going to help me out much. Though I will say, the AI isn't smart, and not only that, but when they're in view, they're slow. When they're not in view, you'll see them fucking booking it. Hell, around here, they would usually take a bail, but because I'm not there to see it, they will never bail. In fact, they're going to be zooming through all of this to catch to where I am. And the game will keep saying this. They're making the move. Those hippos, by the way, are not breakables. They are just going to be walls, really. And yeah. This is pretty much the entire game. And with that, all that matters is that you stay ahead like so, and you're good to go. Because as long as they're right behind you, they never really try to advance unless you bail. So yeah. Anyway, we got the rep needed, so now we have the stand-up. And as you can see there, 7,400 points will give us our final boat. We're now doing Glacier Tour. And, yeah. Danger signs, frozen boats, some wooden pikes or whatever, and ice. A lot of ice. The ice what you're mainly going to be breaking in this one.
Get ready. 3, 2.
Now this one does have some good shortcuts. It also has some hard shortcuts and some risky shortcuts. So first off, if you want the points, go the regular path so you don't lose all these breakables around here. But here's the first shortcut. It's a really good shortcut. We'll get 120 points out of both of these walls, really. And yeah, this is the hard shortcut. You'll only see me do it once or twice, but ultimately that shortcut sucks. This shortcut's risky because this can happen. You'll hit the wall on the right, or you'll hit that fucking mammoth, the frozen mammoth on the side there. If you're lucky, you won't hit anything, and you'll slide right through. Then you got this, which is kind of risky because that wall there, you get a jump out of it. And you got this here, which can be risky if you get a pretty bad lineup, but ultimately it's an okay shortcut. You'll miss all the breakables on the right side though, which would be wanting really. So I should have gone for that. But again, I'm still kind of learning with this because I don't know what all the breakables are. And I kind of just took the best path in my practice the entire time. Because hard really puts you in the mindset of like, I don't want to be last, and the AI is kind of being a dick. Also, as you can tell, right there, that was the hard shortcut. You cannot control yourself when you're on land like that. So you have to aim yourself just right as soon as you get to that area for you to slide right into that area, or else you get fucked. Because you'll get bounced back or bounced off, and you can't do shit, and you'll probably bail too. So you gotta wait a few seconds for you to get back on your boat. Sometimes it's immediate when you get back on your boat, sometimes it takes a while for you to get back on your boat. And those stalactites, those are not breakables. I kept thinking they were. They're not.
Great job.
Ultimately, we're doing good though. And ultimately, I don't need the best boat for this tournament right now.
They're making their move.
In fact, you might even suggest that you don't need the boat at all because of how this works. Also, there you go, that's the shortcut. It's really awkward, isn't it? And yeah, that fucked me 3 times. It's gonna fuck you a lot. Trying to hit the fucking middle ground of that little shortcut is a pain in the ass. But it's still a good shortcut because you'll still slide forward. And you'll still be faster than going normal path. Unfortunately, that can happen too. And that sucks. So try to avoid that. But there you go. And with that, that's another win for us. And they really stay behind us. 3 minutes 14 seconds. Again, these records, they're way too big. And now Division 3, this is the last 2 races. And these races are the worst ones. Paris Sewers and Canal Grande. So Paris Sewers, crates, barrels, rubbish, some pipes. Ultimately, this one has only one shortcut, really. And it's a shitty shortcut. I'm only going to do it once for points, but otherwise, don't take the shortcut. That lineup I just did there sucks. And it doesn't actually make you any faster. Now, there are no shortcuts to the rest of the map, but you want to be first to get as many breakables as you can, because the AI will take care of the breakables themselves. However, the AI struggles the most in this one, because they are going to bail into walls around this area a lot. You will too, unless you're being cautious, which I'm trying to be. And you kind of have to be cautious if you want to get through this. Because the problem with this and the next map, the final one, is that they're very narrow. There's no real, like, space to move around in. And because of that, it easily leads into you hitting walls. Because the terrain in this is so wide that it makes it awkward to handle. And also, you need, for the points, to go for those shortcuts. Because you noticed, there's not many jumps in this one. There's really not that many jumps. If you want to get the points, you must take these fucking shortcuts. Well, not fake shortcuts. You must take these dead ends, in which, the dead ends have a bunch of breakables. You need the breakables for this one with the points. So, yeah. Worst track in the game, it's low scoring, and it sucks to race in. Also, you're probably noticing a bunch of tires around, and you're probably thinking those are breakables. No. The tires are actually just walls. They will stop you. Now, considering how much they easily just mesh together everything else around here when it comes to breakables, the fact that the tires are the only not breakable at the game will fucking make you lose all your speed and even bail you for touching them. Gonna be honest here, dick move. And yeah, this is the entire race. Nothing much else really to tell you about this one, except avoid the tires, stay first in the first lap, take care of as many fucking breakables as possible to get your points. And don't bail around here, because if you do, the AI will 100% catch up to you and fucking take the win. And there you go. Again, you're never going to last more than 5 minutes. Now we have Canal Grande. We need 2,000 more points. But what's the point? Because it's the last race. It's the last thing. There's like some lights, some crates, some clothing, some fucking wooden poles. There are some regular poles and also some boats around here, you know, canoes.
Get ready.
Those are not breakable. Those are walls.
Go!
Yeah. I'm gonna go for the regular path the AI is gonna be going for. You can kind of tell it's a fucking mess.
Oh!
You also tell there are no breakables around here. There is a path that is a dead end but has a bunch of breakables you can go for if you need the points for it.
Great job.
I'm not gonna take it, but I'll tell you where it is when we get to it. But it's the long way, and it's the low scoring way. If you got there first, you could have gotten that, but oh well.
Your move.
To your right here is, well actually, to your right here is the breakable. If you went right, you'll go to a dead end where there's a bunch of like wooden sticks and shit to break. Ultimately, you don't need it, but if you do need it for points, drive over there and break them. And then, continue on, you'll be last, obviously. But, by then you'll be wanting to take the path I'll be taking, as it has where all the breakables are, and it's also faster. It doesn't start off faster, to be honest. It's a wider shortcut, as you can tell, but there's a lot of breakables to work with. But, continue on to your right, get through those breakables and such, go through the fences, and then avoid running into the boats coming this way. Because yes, you'll be kind of going a little bit backwards, but not really, because you'll be going straight forward to this path there, which we go on first, which is faster than that very long path there. And yeah, that's how this works. And yep, go left from there, and you'll get the shorter path there as well. And you're probably thinking, hey, we got a lot of distance now. Not for long. The AI is going to be right up my ass very soon. Again, they were banned extremely harshly in this game.
Great job.
And in fact, for me taking this, because I'm trying to get points as well, I kind of have points now to actually take care of this. Because of that, and because of that bail, they are right where I am right now. So, I gotta avoid hitting them now. There you go. And yeah, that is all of the courses in this game. Not much else to say, other than, this sucks. This is just not a very good game, obviously. And it's only gonna get a little bit worse when we get into the next part. Have you figured out why?
Great job.
You're about to find out why. We've beaten all the records, by the way. You'll be beating them every time, no matter what. See? But that's it. We got our final boat, which is the Advance. We've always seen it before. And here are our points for the summer season. Because next time, we'll be doing the final part in which we do all of these again in a mirrored version for the fall tournament. Yep. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time for that.